This thing working? Do you take me serious now? I'm wearing a suit and glasses. Maybe that's what it takes. I just got back from one of the most, well, funerals aren't supposed to be a great place, but I've been to so many wakes where it's a whole different environment that going to a Jewish funeral, I guess it seemed 20 times more sad. And, one of my, suddenly one of my best friends, her mom died. So I had to go to a funeral today. And I'm sitting there crying and, thinking about my life and thinking about what I'm trying to do here. And, the word mitzvah comes up and doing good for others, and whether or not you guys out there believe that I'm trying to do good for others. It on the way home, I think it finally dawned on me. You don't need me. What I show people in the market is so damn easy that that's the only thing that I couldn't think of when I asked myself, why do people come to the site? I show them a little bit how to make money, how to find ideas, and then we never hear from them again. Sure, some people go out on their own and I hear back from them, they blow themselves up and they're not in the industry. Some people have just decided trading's not for them. It's the guys that just are in limbo whether or not they want to do this or not do this. But the point I'm making here is what just dawned on me, maybe what I show them is so damn easy that they think, you know what? I don't even need the guy anymore. I'm going to go out on my own. Now remember, the room's more than just me showing you what to do. It's a camaraderie. It's a family. I'm trying to build something where we're all there to help each other. But what dawned on me on the way home is that could be the reason. The simplest reason is the reason. You don't need me because it can't be more easy on how I trade. And there's a reason I trade once sometimes during the day, sometimes two. A big day for me is trading 3 times because I wait for the same goddamn thing every time. It took me this long to finally realize, hey, if something works 85% of the time, why the hell would you do anything else? You're going to gamble on some SQ options into the report. You're going to buy data on the dip. You're going to try to go after some GoPro. You're going to try to figure out whether Fitbit's a real company or not. You're going to buy the dip on the Qs. No, none of that matters. I don't know where the market's going to go. I don't know. I can't name a good stock to save my life. But I do know not to hold these stocks into earnings. How much were we loving the SQ just a couple of weeks ago? How much did we love the data, right? The charts are one thing. But again, I'm not there. I think you might know at this point where this conversation is headed. What's the one thing I talk about? The easiest money, and it's not even the UVXY. Because the UVXY, shorting the UVXY, what are you going to do? Right, you're on the right track. Come on. This is where it is. It must be this easy. You must know. You don't even need to watch the videos or come to the room or learn anything else. I've given it all away now. That must be the reason I don't have 5,000 people in the room. But you're going to go to Jason Bond's room. You're going to go to these 300 other dozen rooms where I'm the original. There were no trading rooms before me. I invented this fucking genre. And you know what? I'm sitting pretty. You should be begging me to show you what to do. But maybe, like I said, you already know because I've done it. It's this easy. And we're talking about the SVXY. It goes up 95% of the time. Even when the market looks like it might be going down, it goes up. Even when the market's going down, sometimes it goes up. And even when the market goes up, it's going up. 90% of the time, this thing's going up. The one down day, you buy more. And then within a day or so, it's back up. I have never seen a situation ever, because I've only been trading it now, UVXY. I didn't even realize the SVXY. I was always just shorting the UVXY. But the SVXY is so much better because at least your risk is defined. It can only go to 0 because there is that chance that a nuclear explosion could happen and the UVXY goes from $15 to $100 in a couple of days, and you'd lose your house. But at least the SVXY, or the XIV for that matter, the inverse of this bullshit product that always goes down, the UVXY and the VIX, you're going to make money. So that must be it. You figured it out. You figured it out. Look for the VWAP and the reversals like we had in the Devon Energy and the Alcoa the other day. Maybe that's it. That has to be it, right? Maybe you don't need me drilling it into your head again. Maybe you think there's more to it. Well, he's just going to talk about reversals and VWAP. Yes, that's all I'm ever going to talk about, ever, as far as what to trade. Everything else, you want to talk philosophy, where the market might go? You want to talk politics? You want to talk sports gambling? Sure, that's all filler for waiting for the proper situation to trade. You want to go dabble with something that might be 50-50 at best? You want to try shorten price line when it's already down 100 points and get beat up for 9 points and then have it watch it go down 20 or 30 when you've got SVXY and the VWAP reversals handing you the money? It's not supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be exciting. It's supposed to be boring and monotonous. But if boring and monotonous equals getting paid at the end of the day, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing out there? Well, I thought there was going to be more to this trading. What am I getting my $3,000 worth? $3,000 is to join my family. It's not trading. It's not seminars. It's not options. It's nothing. You get to know me. And I'll spend however long it takes, because when I say it's a lifetime, if you need me to do it, and I'm not going to fly myself out to you, pay for the flight, I'll sit in your house, I'll grab your fucking hand and make you goddamn press the button, if that's what it takes. Because there's something getting lost in translation here. Of all these videos and all this bullshit and all this stuff. There's something getting lost in cyberspace, in translation, when the same thing happens every single day. And all you need to do is follow my lead. But then I hear, oh, I thought you got, oh, that, blue. I just got off the phone, and again, this is kind of what set me off. Guy puts $5,000 in the account, joins the fund, joins my quest of dominance, joins the family, pays his entrance fee to the amusement park of trading, and what does he do? What does he do? He's buying SQ options into the earnings. He's buying data options into the earnings. And he actually says, but didn't you say you liked those stocks? And this is where the dilemma is. Yeah, I said I liked those stocks. When SQ broke 1335, I thought the thing could get to around 1550 to test the all-time highs. Rule number 3 in your brochure on page 27. What page? Page 27. Open your brochure right now. Don't buy options when earnings are coming out. Don't buy options unless you're trading a reversal. It's the same thing. Just because you know what an option is now doesn't mean you go and buy them willy-nilly because you think you know something. You want to buy an option today? You're buying RIG, $10 calls when the thing's going green. You're buying Alcoa, $10 calls when it's going green. You're buying SVXY calls when it's going green. You're buying the QQQ, 105.50s when the Qs are going green. There's still rules. Just because you know that what an option is now, you know what a call is and a put is, didn't mean you go and gamble on earnings reports. That's page 27, and then page 28, it says, look at page 27. I've lost, other than shorting the Qs and getting slapped in a couple of moments in my career, I've never lost more money than betting on options into earnings reports. And if you had listened to the seminar, the free seminar that I gave, before we started talking about calls and puts and what they are and how they're priced and what to look for, what was the first thing we said? Don't ever buy options when companies are reporting. Because even if you're right, you're still going to be wrong. You understand? Even if Fitbit would have went up to $14, you still had to pay $1 for those options. What were you thinking?
Well, you said the stock had a chance to go to $17.50.
Yeah, over the next 2 years.
Well, you said data had a chance to go to 60.
Yeah. Did you read the fine print? If the numbers were semi-good to not awful, maybe has a chance to go up. Still never said to pay $4 for a 52.50 call. So the next time you're thinking about gambling on earnings, why don't you do this? Well, first, don't. Why don't you do this? Just send me the money and I'll call you the night before and remind you, don't do it. Don't do it. You have no idea how the stock's going to react.
But you said the stock looks good.
You have no idea.
But you said,
You have no idea.
but you said, but what about the earnings?
You said, no. There's no reason ever to do it.
Well, what about that time when you made money on Google?
I was lucky. 3 years ago, I had Google options because the stock was down at like 380. And I was like, well, if the thing breaks 380 on the option, it was a Thursday night. I gave myself a lotto ticket. And you know what? Basically, that was a lucky trade. The real trade, when we made real money on the Google report, was after they reported. The stock was gapped down 30 points, wound up going green on the day, reversal. Then we bought the options. So, where are we? Where are we? You want to know what I know? Guess what? To my friend who showed up twice to the room.
Well, I didn't understand all the talk.
Why would you? You called me telling me that you're a new guy, you want to get into trading. And I said, start hanging out in the room. No obligation. Start hanging out. Start picking up key phrases. Start looking at what we look at. Start learning what we do. It's not a day. It's not a week. It's not a month. It could take you 6 months of just hanging out. Just to get acclimated to what we're even talking about. You can't stop in and make a judgment call. I'm actually a little lost here. But I'll tell you something. The way I'm looking at the room right now is I'm trading anyway. Or let's call me semi-retired. I mean, within 3 or 4 years, I'm probably going to go getting a teaching job or something and hang out with some high school kids and for the rest of my life and maybe do a reality of the stock market or the reality, like, I should just kick the door in at the economics class or the accounting class. None of this means anything. Excuse me, kid in the back. Why are you here in this class? Oh, you want to become an analyst? Why? You know nothing. You'll never know nothing, and everything you do will always be wrong. How was that call on Fitbit? How about the SVXY upgrade? Why even go to school? Why even go? Seriously, MBAs? You want to crunch numbers when none of it means anything? You do realize the market is propelled by free money right now and that any day it could crash, right? There's no analyzing what's going on here. There's no numbers to be crunched. This isn't the 1920s or the 50s or even the 70s. It's all a crock of shit. So you thinking that you're going to read a book or learn about economics or fundamental analysis doesn't mean dick. There's one thing that works, and there's derivatives of that one thing. Reversals in the VWAP, reversals in the VWAP, and the reversals in the VWAP, and reversals in the VWAP, but more importantly, SVXY every time it goes green. Now I understand. Maybe there's not enough skill involved. You want it to be more complicated.
Like, is it really that easy? Is it really that easy?
You want to put I love these guys. They got 900 monitors with all their screens, as if you could watch all that shit. And your scanners and your alerts, as if you need it. Because you could physically only do so much. So if you're spitting out all these ideas and you got the only thing that you need, if you have all those scanners, you need to get an auto trade system so the trades get put on for you. Because if you're getting the alerts and you're trying to trade them all and put the stops on, you're never going to be able to do it. Less is more. None is good sometimes. And that's another concept that people don't seem to understand. Just because your account is open doesn't mean you have to trade. If you spend 3 days waiting for an earnings reversal, when it happens, it'll be worth those 3 days. Because if you're making $250 or $300 a day, and that's what you're trying to do, medium risk for medium reward, right? But then you have a day like this, right? Where the only trade really, there was nice dips. Looks like there was some great dip buying on the energy stocks, but SVXY is the only thing you need to care about. SVXY goes green, buy it, put a stop on. Let's say you buy 300, give yourself a 20 cent, 30 cent, and a 50 cent stop, and then just let it ride. Because if you're starting a position with 300 shares, and again, I don't know how much money you got, what you're doing, but do you understand? Even if SVXY was to go back down to 47.50 and you bought it today at the open, or let's say you just felt like gambling, right? You're like, I'm not even going to look at the chart. I'm not going to wait for it to reverse. I'm buying the open. 51.04, right? Next thing you know, it's down to 49.50 again. And then it's at 49.50 and then 47.50. Guess what? As long as you don't go full balls deep into the trade, buy the pullback, because within a day, 2 days, or 3 days, it'll be back to what you originally bought it for. So then I've never seen a stock where you can just dollar cost average and never lose. Because, hey, look, if you're in the SQ right now, sure, you're thinking, hey, I like this thing long term, which I do. I believe in mobile payments, but maybe this stock's never going to come back. I'm not buying it today. I sold it all at, 15 and 14 and 13.50 the other day, right? Not because I even wanted to, because there's no fucking way I'm going to own a stock into an earnings report. Because what was the worst case scenario? What was the worst case scenario? What would have happened? SQ would have blown out numbers and went up $2. Whoa, who gives a shit? Because if you're thinking long term, then you wait for that $2 to kind of dissipate. You'll get the little profit taking, and then you can buy it back. But the worst case scenario is a stock would have went to zero, I guess, if you owned it. But selling it, after I sold it, what would have been the worst case scenario? It would have went up 4 or 5 points without me in it. Who gives a shit? Who fucking cares? You know how many stocks go up? I had RLYP 20 minutes before it went up 7 points. You think a stock going up 2 points phases me? And it shouldn't phase you either, because that's part of the game. But the moral of the story is you better not fucking own Why? It's bad enough owning the stock into the report, but buying calls on... I'm sorry I'm ripping you, but after that... To blow your account up, and I think you were sort of blaming me. We went over this. You never buy options into earnings reports. So whether or not I said I think SQ's going to 100 tonight, you still don't buy options. That rule, as I state every day, supersedes all other rules. Never buy options into earnings reports. And if you can avoid it, why even own the stock? especially the market environment we're in. Haven't you seen enough stocks getting pummeled? So I don't know whether or not, legitimately, now that, I sold the SQ and I sold the data. So thank God, right? We still got some Alcoa left. I'm never going to give up on the Alcoa. I bought the fucking thing waiting for the goddamn split, right? What is it, May now? The guy over there was criticizing me. He said, hell, you didn't speak to the guy. I spoke to the guy over at Alcoa, and they told me that it might not even happen in 2016. He says, if it does happen, it's going to be third or fourth quarter 2016, maybe 2017.
Oh, what are you talking about? You didn't talk to anybody at Alcoa.
It's been 7 months now. We're waiting for the split, right? 7 months. So I guess the guy at Alcoa kind of knew what he was talking about, considering he works at Alcoa. Gary or Doug or whatever the hell his name was. That's what I'm waiting for. So right now, you can take a fucking SQ and shove it up your ass. You can take all the Qs and shove them. Because until they break over 106.80, I'm staying in the limbo camp. I'd rather be late and right and early and wrong. Take that one to the bank. That's page number 32. What page? Number 32. Rather be late and right than early and wrong. I don't know where the market's going, but I sure as hell know what's going to happen if it starts breaking out. We're going to get one of them 3-month rallies again where we don't understand why the market's going up.
I can't believe the market's going up every day.
Yeah. There's never a reason. There's always a reason to sell. There's never a reason for the market to go up, except that it's manipulated by the government, free money, pushing the can down the road, and eventually, who cares? Who cares if the deficit's $6 trillion? It'll be $18 trillion. What the fuck do we care? My kids won't even care. They'll invent some product and bottle it up and send it into space. Oh, here's the debt. This is a debt bubble. Put it in a rocket and send it off. Maybe my kids' will have to worry about it. Like Space Lab. I think this thing's gonna crash one day. I'm not sure. Space Lab. That's how old I am. I made a Space Lab reference. Fucking Space Lab. I don't even have a job. You understand? What is a job? Something that you get paid at, right? So at the end of the month, or on the end of the day, so we bought the SVXY today when it went green, right? Do I sell it now and tell my mom that I have a real job? Mom, I made, I'm $800 today. I don't even really know exactly what I'm doing. I just buy it when they go green and sell them when they go red. I don't know, Chesapeake. Well, you do understand Chesapeake was an earnings reversal also, right? Oh, Chesapeake. I begged you all to short that stock yesterday, right? The last gasp. Earnings are out. Stock went negative into the end of the day. It's always about the end of the day. Where your stock ends at the end of the day is very significant. That's page 43. All right. You might want to go through this video quickly. I didn't realize 23 minutes I had to get this stuff off my chest. I don't even think I made one goddamn valid point. Or maybe 3 valid points. Never buy options into earnings reports. Short the stocks after they report and go negative. Like a Chesapeake. Like a fucking Chesapeake. Like a Chesapeake. What's it down? 30%? 40%? 50%? Thing would not budge. We're shorting the shit out of this thing at
594, 595, 594, 5...
You want to be a day trader? It's the most annoying thing in the world.
594, 595, 594, 595, 594, 595.
For 3.5 hours, I'm watching this thing go
594, 595. Oh, 6. Oh my God, I might get stopped out. Oh, back to 593, 594, 593, 594.
Where was all the real money made? Holding it. Short. Because earnings reversals usually evolve into something more. The earnings are out. That's when the decisions are made.
593, 588. We better cover some.
Look at that thing. Look at it. It's disintegrating off the freaking earth right now. Dry ships indicator, people. So the next time you see the market, and if you're thinking the market's in a bubble, if you're thinking that
This market's gone too far, too fast.
if you're thinking that something looks overbought, if you're thinking that the market needs a pause or a correction, take a look at dry ships. If dry ships is flat and doing nothing, market's fine. When dry ships, the worst stock on the planet, starts to go up, that was the end of it all. Right? We topped out that day when dry ships started moving up. Here's a fuck you to dry ships. Here's a fuck you to that guy again about the GoPro. It's a social media camera company, right? Social media camera company. Yeah, you told me to go. What'd you say? Go have sex with my mother in the basement where I live. Here, how's that? How's that? I hope you still own it, all of it, at $70. Or no, wait, you owned it at $90. I told you to dump it if it broke $75. I hope you own it all. Oh, I hope you're dollar cost averaging right now, fella. You're the best. And those analysts out there, way to upgrade the SVXY. Hope you bought options into that one also going into earnings reports. Because all of you guys are such geniuses.